Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be discussing the best case scenario for each lottery team in the upcoming draft. There's been a ton of rumors about what's gonna happen at the first pick. Are teams going to trade down or trade up? What's gonna happen with Giannis and Kawhi Leonard? And how would that impact draft night? There's a ton to get into, so let's jump right into it. We have the Washington Wizards. Easily, their best case scenario is drafting AJ DeBonza. He has a stronger likelihood of being generational compared to Peterson. DeBonza also fits more into this Wizards roster construction. He's a 6'9" wing with a good handle, can be effective on the defensive end, has a strong offensive game as well. The Wizards would be better off picking him with the #1 pick, as it could help Washington basketball get back on the map. For the Utah Jazz, the best case scenario for them is selecting between Cam Boozer and Caleb Wilson. We've heard the rumors of Walker Kessler more than likely moving on from Utah. If the Jazz are comfortable with running Jackson at the 5 and Lauri Markkanen either at the 3 or 4, acquiring one of Cam Boozer or Caleb Wilson would be a plus. They maintain their size, and depending on which prospect they get an excellent athlete in Wilson, or they could get a really smart all-around player in Cam Boozer. Next, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. The best case scenario for them is drafting Darren Peterson. If you saw my worst case scenario video, it felt like I was shooting strays at Peterson. That's not the case. I believe Memphis would probably be the ideal situation for him. John Morant is eventually going to get traded, and when he does, Darren Peterson will have the keys to this franchise. Cam Boozer is another strong option as well. I think he would fit nicely into this roster and also provides flexibility when it comes to rotations. But I'm gonna stick with Darren Peterson because I feel like this is just a really strong partnership if it was to materialize. We have the Chicago Bulls. Their best case scenario is drafting Caleb Wilson. He fits like a glove into what the new GM, Tiago Splinter as the head coach, wants to do. If you haven't heard the GM's moniker, it's SLAP. That means size, length, athleticism, and physicality. Caleb Wilson will be a home run selection for the Chicago Bulls, a team that also desperately needs more size in the front court as well. We have the Clippers at the 5th pick. The best case scenario for them is drafting either Darius Acuff or Michael Brown Jr. Those two in particular, because their ceiling is extremely high. They can both be potential superstars in the NBA, and acquiring one of those two will allow the Clippers to enter this next phase and embrace the new youth movement they've been working towards over the last season. The Brooklyn Nets, the best case scenario for them is drafting an impactful player. There's no expectation for them being a top 6 seed out east next year, but with the pieces they currently have and the coaching in Jordi Fernandez, there's at least an expectation for them to take the next leap in this rebuilding process. And it starts with the 6th pick in this draft, as they have the ability to draft a player who can have an instant impact this upcoming year. The Sacramento Kings at the 7th pick, their ideal situation is drafting a game changer. In this best case scenario, that would be Darius Acuff. Whether it's trading up or getting lucky if he falls down, for the fans, they deserve a prospect who is going to inspire hope. Acuff can be that guy, and if the Kings are crazy about him, they need to do everything in their power to make sure he ends up as a Sacramento King. Next up, we have the Atlanta Hawks. The best case scenario for them is drafting Ade Mora. He is the perfect fit next to Okongwu. I can't see a scenario in which they try to go for a guard, because CJ McCollum is kind of a temporary solution right now. But with this being a guard-centric draft, I think the Hawks would benefit from waiting to take a guard later on in the draft. And with Ade Mora, that allows the Hawks to compete right now, along with having a center for the future. For the Dallas Mavericks, the best case scenario is Kingston Flemings or Brandon Burries. Either way, Dallas needs an off guard who can play next to Kyrie, because in the immediate future, you get a guy who can do all the dirty work. And for the long-term future, playing alongside Kyrie, you allow that young guard to develop, and that can benefit when the time is right, takes the reins as a point guard for the Dallas Mavericks to play alongside Cooper Flagg. For the Milwaukee Bucks, they want to add another contributor. Whether or not the Giannis trade happens, They need a guy who on a nightly basis shows up and shows out. Doesn't necessarily need to be a star player off rip, but if they can show flashes of it, Milwaukee is back in business with a chance to build for the future. For the Golden State Warriors, they need to add size down low. Perez Johnson Jr. feels like a pretty good prospect. I don't think Ademora will be available, but even if he was, I think Golden State has more success with small ball centers. Johnson is 6'9". I think if you play him as a small ball 5 or play him next to Draymond, this Warriors team can have some success in the next 2 years. It's important the Warriors add size in the front court because they need someone who provides rim protection, along with being able to be a lob threat. It would allow there to be another dimension to this offense rather than just relying on Steph Curry as he's getting older. For the Thunder, they want to trade up for Ademora. He's going to be the cheat code for the Thunder to remain dominant over the next few years. You could get cheaper and younger at that center position. I'm not sure how much draft capital is going to take to move up. It's not like the Thunder are struggling when it comes to draft assets. I think another option as well for the Thunder at 12 could be finding a replacement for Lou Dort, maybe Cameron Carr. I haven't heard too much about him post draft combine. I know his physical traits really stood out for the scouts there in attendance. So I'm wondering if OKC could consider going with this young upstart. For the Miami Heat, it's simply not even making a selection. If you're Miami on draft night, your draft selection is going to be acquiring Kawhi Leonard or Giannis Antetokounmpo. And to wrap it up, we have the Charlotte Hornets at the 14th pick. Their best case scenario is adding an instant contributor to this roster. Yaxel Lindenborg feels like the strong option here. If you can develop him and he has a strong rookie year, much like with Concanipo, maybe he replaces Miles Bridges in that starting lineup. If the Hornets don't go in that direction, I think they address the lack of size in the front court. If Perez Johnson Jr. is available, I feel like that's a good addition to this team. You also have Heinz Steinbach out of Washington, Koa Pete, the freshman out of Arizona, along with Kareem Lopez out of Mexico. Those are interesting wing prospects. Maybe you can use them as a 4 in small ball. Nonetheless, the Hornets want to add a prospect who has good size, along with having a strong upside, who can allow them to take the next step going into next year. Comment down below your best case scenarios for each lottery team. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one.